Hare Krishna Maharaj.
Hare Krishna.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Yeah. Welcome to Bharat.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for your mercy. You came to England first and blessed us, and now we are in Bharat together, and Srila Prabhupada made it possible for us to work together and continue this mission. Keep your mercy on us. So I just wanted to know your experience in Bharat as well, and I have a few questions how we can inspire the younger generation.
Yes.
So I just want to start with how was your experience coming to Bharat, and how was your travel here, and your arrangements here?
Yeah, it's always nice because I'm going to either holy places, Vrindavan, Mayapur, or to our temples, which are also like embassies of the holy places. So there is always plenty of wonderful association.
And how was your stay in Vrindavan? What did you do in Vrindavan while you were there?
Yeah, we had our Artha group, Russian speaking. We were going to different places. And also my spiritual master, Srila Raghunath Swami, he was doing his Kartik Yatra. So I was taking part in that, both things at the same time.
And now we are in Mumbai, and we are at ISKKON Harbor, and which is a new development. The inauguration is on 15th of January.
Yeah.
And the new temple is opening. It's going to be a pride of India, as they say. And how do you feel about this temple, your experience here?
Yeah, it's amazing project. I mean, so much effort, and of course, it's very expensive. It really is the masterpiece. Everything is unique here. So much of the artwork, it's very beautiful. And I'm sure once it opens, so many people will be coming here just to see the work which is done. And it's great, because this is what we want to see, that people dedicating their everything, their talents, their inspiration to serve the Supreme Lord.
Yeah, Surdas Maharaj was saying there's 9 acres of land.
Yeah.
This place is, and they spend 170 crores.
Yeah.
And I think they're going to end up spending way more than this much. And Narendra Modi, the Prime Minister of India, and the Chief Minister of Maharashtra is coming as well on 15th to open this place. So I think it will be a really nice event for us to attend as well.
Yeah, I'm very impressed by the scale of it and the quality.
So I will start with a few questions.
Sure.
Because we want to inspire the younger generation and to continue Krishna Consciousness movement and this Srila Prabhupada's mission. So the first question is, so how do you feel about being in a country where Bhakti Yoga started?
It's very inspiring because there are people who are very, very serious, both ISKKON and traditional Vaishnavas. At the same time, it's very concerning because still, despite of all the effort, many people in India, they're influenced by Western values and Western culture. So I feel we should make more effort to turn it around and help local people here understand and value Krishna Consciousness and Bhakti Yoga more.
Like this morning you were saying 60% of India is still Vaishnava, but the real Vaishnavas, we still need to have the drive forward.
Yeah.
You wanna tell us how we can do that? Especially for people like this, so many volunteers who want to get involved and get this drive forward and getting all the Vaishnavas to raise up their standards to be real Vaishnavas.
Well, something which is happening now is distribution of Srila Prabhupada's books. And of course then inviting people to come and give them prasadam and give them association, give them some inspiration, engagement, which would change their lives. So that's really important.
So the next question is, Maharaji, what makes Indian culture so unique, suited to cultivating spirituality compared to the West?
Well, as we learned from Bhagavatam, the entire planet was Bharatvarsha, including Europe, Asia, Americas, both Americas, Africa, Australia, everything was Bharatvarsha. Everything was under the rule of Maharaj Yudhishthir, Maharaj Parikshit, Janmejai Maharaj. He was the last one to rule the whole world. And we can see that evidence everywhere. And also, it's my personal experience, because I always believed in God, but I was never happy with the lacking of information on God. And I knew that full information is available somewhere, but it's only when I came across Bhagavad Gita by Srila Prabhupada and other Vedic literature, it became so crystal clear. Everything, full knowledge, both spiritual and material, and it's not available anywhere. And it was always there in Bharat, in India, and that's the greatest treasure, that's the greatest legacy. That's very interesting. Someone said, that British, they were taking so much wealth out of Bharat, but then Prabhupada said, you haven't taken the most important thing, which is spiritual knowledge and spiritual culture. And then he went to the West to give that most valuable thing. And of course, we can see so many Westerners, they take up to Bhakti, Krishna Consciousness, and that is also inspiring local people to take it more seriously.
And you have traveled so many countries, almost all the countries in the West. And which country you think is more influenced by the Krishna consciousness and spirituality, and which needs more work?
Well, of course, India, no doubt, is number one, because, it's tradition of the land. So for Bharatis, it's quite easy to practice Krishna consciousness. But I would say outside of Bharat, probably former Soviet Union, Russia, and the adjoining countries. They are most enthusiastic for some reason about practicing Krishna consciousness.
Like Russia, Ukraine, Latvia?
Yes, all these places, yeah.
So they're more inclined towards spirituality than compared to England and America, honestly.
It is like that, yeah. Fully understand and explain this phenomena is very difficult, but it's there.
Maybe like it stayed in the DNA, like
Possible, proximity to Bharat gives such influence. We don't know.
So how can young Indians can reconnect with their spiritual heritage? Thinking of what's going on technologically, social media, and everything else.
Yeah.
So do you feel that the Indian youth is disconnected now from spirituality?
Big time, unfortunately, because they are still influenced by Western values and Western everything. And I really feel what Shiva Raghunath Maharaj is doing very important, because he's very, very systematic in his approach. He made great effort to attract to Krishna consciousness really the best people, because they are all IT, IIT graduates, and many of them are PhDs in their fields, coming from very nice families and having best education and never being in need anything material in their lives. They understand that, fulfillment of material desires does not really make one happy. And they take up to Krishna consciousness very, very seriously. And using all their education and all their intelligence, they're convincing other young people about the value of Krishna consciousness. And it's really amazing that I heard there are over 1,000 applications to join the ashram, but they don't take so many people.
So which ashram is that? Chapati?
Chapati ashram, yes. It's very, very popular. And these brahmacharis, they also travel everywhere and preach very, very successfully. Some of them even exceeded, in a sense, Raghunath Maharaj by their popularity. So, yeah, but Maharaj is behind all this, and he's building Daivi Varnashram very, very systematically, because he inspired and trained real Brahmanas, people coming from the best backgrounds and best education, best everything. And then when they took up Krishna consciousness, they became best in that, best teachers, best preachers. And then he is also personally connecting to influential people, Raghunath Maharaj, preaching to Barack Obama, giving classes in British Parliament and all these things. And now his disciples are taking up the project of inspiring wealthy people to take up to Krishna consciousness, like Artha Forum, Artha Community, Radhagiri Dari Prabhu. So I can see it's very, very systematic what Maharaj is doing. It's not haphazard. He has clear plan and he's very methodically executing it. And, because these are the leaders of the society, intellectuals, political leaders, and financial magnates, right? And then if they show this example of Krishna consciousness, then entire population can very easily follow that. So, because Krishna consciousness is really meant for the leaders.
Even I was thinking like we should get influential people involved like Ambani, even Elon Musk, and like find a platform to connect with them.
Yes.
Does the Radha Gopinath Swami also building a school in Chapati for children?
Radhanath Swami? Yes, of course. There is Gopal school available. Yeah, naturally, because most of the community are family people. So, yes, that type of education is also there.
Yeah, personally believe we should have like ISKKON school in every single city, right?
Yeah.
Be the temple. Okay, next question is Maharaji. So, what message would you give to India's Gen Z about finding a purpose in life?
Narad Muni says in Srimad Bhagavatam, in the 5th chapter, Tasaiva heta prayatata kovida, nalabhyata tad brahmata uparyata, that the topmost purpose in life is not available in this world, even if you cover it from top to the bottom. So, as some people say that your goal should be bigger than your life, because if you leave legacy, something which changes people's lives for better after you depart, only then you can consider your life to be successful. So it sounds somewhat ambitious, but it's good if you direct those ambitions towards spiritual accomplishments, because material things, they come and go, and they are really just byproducts of spiritual practices, and therefore it's really important to do something great in life and remember the greatness of India's past. I mean, just one Ananda Padmanabh temple, right? They opened one vault.
Yeah, that's true.
And there was so much wealth in there, they couldn't even count it all. And there are many vaults like that in there. So, India has greatest wealth. And even despite of so many conquerors plundering India for centuries, still they couldn't finish it. Because India was so spiritually advanced, it had more than anything, any other country in the world. And so, just look at Mahabharata, Ramayana, all these great epics which are valued all over the world in so many countries. And so, yeah, I think this generation has to work hard to restore India's original greatness.
What I've seen in even with Gen Z, they'll say we don't drink or eat meat on Tuesdays and Saturdays. So this is a very common trend in almost every family here. They'll drink and do everything else on all other days, but Tuesday and Saturday. Something, I don't know where this trend or a culture has came.
They just have to add 5 more days a week, and that's going to be perfection.
Yeah. So the next question is, Maharaji, in a time when India is facing rising stress levels, mental health issues, how can Bhakti Yoga address these challenges?
Oh, it's very easy, because the most important thing in life is to be happy.
Yeah.
And people are so stressed out and depressed, they have to do something artificially to try to, feel happy, relaxed. Alcohol, drugs, and all kinds of nonsense. But Bhakti Yoga is the very simple method how you can be happy without these artificial things, without destroying your health. And so, actually, many of these problems are the byproducts of so-called spiritual advancement. I mean, not spiritual, but material advancement. Because, I was just thinking about depression. It's a typical problem of wealthy people. Because poor people, they don't have time to be depressed. They have to work very hard to survive. But, rich people, they have nothing to do with their lives, and then they get depressed. So it's very simple, thing that people not engaged properly, and as Prabhupada would quote, idle mind is devil's workshop. So, and Bhakti Yoga is giving full engagement for the body, for the mind, for intelligence, for having proper identity, spiritual identity, and of course for the soul. So that's why Bhakti Yoga is the best solution for all these problems.
Even the new generation, like some Indians come from India to West. When they arrive to West after 6 months or 1 year, they'll start saying, I'm depressed. Before that, they would say, we even never heard of the word depression. So I think it's coming from the material culture from the West, and it's coming to now India.
Absolutely, yes. Byproduct of material advancement.
So new problems are arising,
Yeah.
which didn't exist in the past. So the next question is, Maharaji, in India we have a big problem like corruption, inequality, and environmental degradation. They do not take environment very seriously here. So can Bhakti Yoga inspire and improve these situations and these challenges?
Yes, of course. You can see, for example, our temples in India. It's immaculately clean, that the cleaning is happening throughout the day, so many times. And it's very well organized, because this is one of our principles, you can say. Srila Prabhupada was talking to one man who said, cleanliness is next to godliness, famous saying. But Prabhupada corrected him. He said, no, cleanliness is godliness. And so, because we believe in that so much, and you can see that temples are so clean, and deity worship is so perfectly organized, and that's just a sample. If more people will take it up, then it's, all these problems of India will be automatically resolved. Actually, my realization is why people are so, careless about, polluting the environment. And overall, doing things which they should not be doing really, if they think about it. But why people are doing these things? Because Mayavad philosophy is very prominent in India, unfortunately. And Mayavad means two things. One is, I am God. And the other one is Brahma Satyam Jagat Mityam, that, only spirituality is truth, but this world is all illusion. So, and if you combine the two, if I am God, and if everything I see is illusion, I can do whatever hell I want. And I don't care. So that's why, if we teach people really that instead of being God, we have to be servants of God, following, Dharma, which is Satya Dayata Pashuchi, then all these problems will automatically be resolved.
Next question is Maharaj. So many Indians are turning to quick fix self-help rather than traditional wisdom. How can Bhakti Yoga compete with modern trends like mindfulness apps and therapies? And there's life coaches now, there's therapy coaches, all these, the generation are going to that sort of the medical help or mental health help.
Yes, these things are helpful only because they are part of Vedic wisdom. Unfortunately, they are taken out of context and they provide solutions, but all these solutions, again, they are temporary. But because they work, people believe in them. And so I think what we should do is to take these solutions, natural solutions, which are anyway coming from Vedas, because yoga, Ayurveda, astrology, Vastu, all these things, they come from Atharva Veda. So, and bring it back to where it belongs, but add Bhakti Yoga to it, give it the complete benefit, add the complete benefit and let people live healthy, holy, happy, peaceful life and advance spiritually. So I think we should be giving people this solution, but coupled with Krishna consciousness or Bhakti Yoga.
Yes, it's okay to use these apps, but add like Krishna consciousness.
Yes, absolutely.
And what is your take on increasing commodification of spirituality in India? Is it diluting the essence of true spiritual essence?
Commodification? What's that?
So that means like everything is being materialized now. Like we see when people go to temple, it's all about putting donations, doing the ghanti, praying for wealth, good job, come out. And that's all what the spirituality has become in India now. Ask when they don't get, and they just, it's like, even the spirituality has commodified. It's like give and take.
Commercialization.
Yeah.
Spiritually educating people, which is important because, use religion for material advancement, that's always happening in Kali Yuga, not only amongst Hindus or Vaishnavas, but Christians, Muslims, Jews, everybody is doing the same thing, praying to God for, resolving their problems. And it does work because God is very compassionate, so He's helping, solving our problems and fulfilling our desires. But if people do not understand how they create their problems in the first place, that's going to be temporary solution again, because if the root is not removed, then the weeds will continue growing. So that's why Bhakti Yoga is addressing problems on the root level. Understanding that, we are the servants of the Supreme Lord rather than consumers of His benefits. It's like a very simple thing that if God is there and if he is the most powerful person, He is the wisest person, He is the wealthiest person, what would you do if you come to someone who is extremely wealthy, wise, powerful, but compassionate at the same time, and can do whatever you want, would you just take little benefit and go away from that person, or would you actually have a position in relationship to that person, you can say permanent job, which would solve your problems forever? So, if you have choices, get some money from the bank or have the bank altogether, what is the wise choice? So the answer is obvious, but people don't understand that their position is to be always connected to the Supreme Lord in service. That's why they come begging something from him.
Srila Prabhupada started Bhakti Yoga movement globally, and he was the first one. Now recently, when Modi came into the power, he started a yoga movement. The difference he did that he went to United Nations and got all nations involved to do yoga. Do you think we could think of something similar to take Bhakti Yoga movement to United Nations, and with the help of leaders like Modi and other country leaders who believe in this?
Absolutely.
And
That would be good.
Could it have on a globally if we make it like a global movement through United Nations?
Well, all the benefits we enjoy now for ourselves, the whole world could enjoy.
So now I'll ask something by yourself. So what has been your most profound experience while traveling and preaching in India?
Interesting. There are so many experiences. It's hard to single out one or even two. Well, especially like in the holy places. Some of the experiences are, of course, very personal. I wouldn't want to share, but something which is impressing me that in the holy places there are personalities, not even in human bodies, but in other type of bodies, but they are highly advanced spiritually. Certain things, they are not explainable by any material means. Like one time we were taking bath in Radhakunda, which is the holiest place at Braj. And there are water turtles living there. And one water turtle came when we were taking bath like that. And one devotee had some prasadam. So he was feeding this water turtle with prasadam. And this turtle was very happy to take this prasadam. And this devotee, he was, patting this turtle on the head like that, with a finger. And turtle didn't mind, just kept eating. But the other devotee, he said, look, this is not a simple turtle. This is great saint in the turtle's body, living in this lake. And, it's like if you come to great saint and you pat the saint on the head, is that appropriate? You should be touching the saint's feet, which, of course, the turtle's fins, right?
Yeah.
And this devotee said, oh, it is true, let me touch the fins of the turtle and put it to my head. So he tried to do that. But then, surprisingly, the turtle would take the fin away, would not allow, the devotee to touch the fin, which is unbelievable, because for any animal, head is much more important than, leg.
Yeah.
What's the big deal to touch the leg as opposed to head? But this turtle was totally peaceful when this devotee was patting it on the head. But when he tried to touch the fin, the turtle would refuse. He tried few fins, he would take the fin away. And when the devotee was persisting, even though the turtle was taking prasadam, Turtle looked at him, obviously displeased, turned around and left. So the turtle was behaving exactly like a Vaishnava would behave. Okay, you want to give me blessings? Here is my hand. But you want to touch my feet? No, right? So, experiences like that are really amazing. There have been so many, but anyway.
Yeah, Maharaj, I was in a class yesterday with you, and if you remember the old lady who was asking you questions.
Oh, yes.
And something stuck in my head that when we are younger, when the human is young, and he makes the most of his senses, material senses, he doesn't complain. But the lady, when she was old, she was complaining, why does this body doesn't leave me? The whole dimensions change when the old age comes, when your body doesn't help you. So it becomes a liability, which is a source of enjoyment. And I just want to know a bit more of your thoughts, and it was very eye-opening to see someone saying something like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it is like that we just want to enjoy, and if there is no more enjoyment, we don't want to live. That's very typical.
Yeah.
But, spiritual life is more of a tapasya for spiritual advancement. And in that sense, old age is a blessing, because in old age there are no more illusions. You understand that this world is the world of misery, and if we are in miserable condition, it's really important. It's really easy to remember God, because when we are enjoying, then our consciousness gets covered by this enjoyment, and we completely forget Krishna. Too busy with ourselves. But if we are in miserable situation, then it's natural that we remember God. But then you can see that you're remembering God, oh, please take my misery away. Instead of giving me Krishna consciousness, give me Krishna consciousness, take my misery away. It's like in this famous story how the old lady was carrying a bunch of wood on her head, and then he tripped and fell, and he was crying, oh Krishna, Krishna, what happened, that. And then Krishna appeared in front of her, and he said, you cried for me so sincerely, I'm ready to do whatever you want, just tell me what you want. And this lady said, it's because of you I tripped and fell, so now you put all this wood together and help me to put it back on my head, I'll carry on. Like that. So, she could ask Krishna for anything, material and spiritual, but everything she asked was to help him to put the load back on her head. So like that, people come to Krishna, and all they want is remove their misery and give them some self-gratification, which nothing but another load on the head. So, yeah, that's why we were making the point that Krishna allows us to live just to give us opportunity to become Krishna conscious.
It's very funny when you said, the more you complain, the Krishna will keep you.
That's right.
Yeah.
It is, because this is the world of misery.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to be miserable, then this is the place.
So next question is, Maharaj, what is your favorite place in India, and what is your favorite place for spiritual inspiration?
Well, for me, it's Sridham Mayapur, because this is very amazing place. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is the most merciful manifestation of Krishna in the mood of Srimati Radharani, and so in Mayapur it's very much felt through and through. So it's a very inspiring place for me personally.
And what was your first experience in Mayapur?
Mind-blowing, because I came to Mayapur, first of all, I had no money.
When you first time you came?
93, yes.
Wow.
And I was so sick, there was a risk that I might die. I came. Oh no. I was sick with sinuses, very seriously. and I came with bunch of antibiotics, whole big bag. And when I was asking some senior Vaishnavas, shall I go to hospital or fly to Mayapur? This was the choice really. And they said, you better go to Mayapur because even if you die, you will die in a holy place. So that was actually Gopal Krishna Maharaj who gave me this advice. And if you leave, you'll get the benefit of being, staying in the Dham. So I came, and I expected that I'll have to go through treatment or something, but then suddenly I got cured. And I was very surprised. How did it happen that my sinuses were gone for good? And I even went to the doctor. I said, is it possible that I got cured? And he said, yeah, you are absolutely healthy. There is nothing wrong with you. I couldn't even believe. I waited for a few more days, but yeah, he was right. Then I choked the entire bag full of antibiotics in a dustbin.
Wow.
And yeah, but I didn't have money to pay for anything. I literally had $50, $50 American dollars with me. That was it.
How did you last it here? Like, how long did you stay?
But I was, for 2 months.
For $150.
Yes. And I couldn't even spend it all.
You still had some savings left back to. Wow.
Yeah, I ended up, buying gifts for my friends, $200 worth of gifts by the end. So, gives you some idea.
The money multiplied.
Quadrupled. But towards there. And I was not doing any business at all. That was the mercy of the holy place and the devotee's mercy, of course. So yeah, it's a long story, but it was full of miracles.
So were you brahmachari at that time or were you sannyasi already?
Brahmachari. Yeah.
And what exactly the time did you decide to be a sannyasi?
I wasn't actually thinking about it, but my spiritual master said, if you're not planning to get married, you might as well take sannyas. And then I've discussed it with him. I've realized that, it is something which would please him, so that's why I agreed.
And
Because
your parents had no problem with you taking
no, they were fine.
Indian parents have problems. They want to see their children getting married. And
Well, other parents also have problems, but they knew that if I'm set on something, then nothing can change my mind. So they had to agree.
So, for busy urban Indians who are busy with jobs, they wake up 6 in the morning and come back not till 9, 10 o'clock, especially the IT sector. And what is your advice, like a simple daily practice they can do, which is not too complex, and they can start getting into Bhakti Yoga and transform their lives?
Well, the most important practice in Bhakti is chanting japa, Hare Krishna mantra on beads. And so I would recommend that the very first thing you do in the morning, even before you take your shower, you can just rinse your hands and mouth, take beads and chant few rounds at least, and then get on with your day.
And what I've also noticed recently, a lot of families in India, they're breaking up. Children are kicking their parents out after getting married. And this is a new trend have started. Millions of parents have been kicked out by their own sons. So any advice you could give them?
Well, again, it's the Western influence. And of course, it's happening because there are too much watching Western media and all this, and they think it's normal. There is one story in this regard, instructional story, that in one kingdom there was a king who was total atheist and materialist. And he told his subjects that your old parents are useless for any practical purposes. So when they become, unproductive, you don't have to take care of them. Just take them to the forest and leave them there to die. That's it.
Wow.
Yeah.
This is a true story?
Whether it's true or not, but the most important thing is the meaning of the story, the moral of the story. So, and one man who was also very materialistic and very atheistic, he thought it's a good idea because he had his disabled father and he had to take care of him. Of course, it was burdening him, and he was thinking, okay, king is giving that order, so I have to follow. So he put father on a cart and started taking him to the forest. But then his son, he said, where are you taking the grandpa? He said, I'm taking him to the forest. And the son, he said, I want to also go to the forest with you. And the father said, okay, let's go. Bade farewell with your grandpa. So they brought the old man to the forest, and he left him under the tree and started walking away. And his son, he was saying, why did you leave grandpa on the cart? He said, well, that was the suggestion by the king that we leave our old parents, go take them to the forest and leave them. And the son said, that's all right, but why did you leave him on the cart? Why does he need the cart? And the father said, why do we worry about it? Let him sit on the cart. And his son said, no, I want the cart because when you grow old, I wouldn't have to get a new cart. I can use the same cart to take you to the forest. And the father was shocked. He realized, what did he do? He showed a bad example which would come back to him. And he said, my son, it was a joke. We never really meant, to leave grandpa in the forest. We're taking him home. It's a very bad thing to leave your parents in the forest. So this is called karma, right? And so all these foolish children who are doing that to their parents, they fail to realize that the same karma will come back to them. And they will go through the same miserable experiences. So better not to be a bad example.
And what role do you think ISKCON can play in bridging the spiritual wisdom of India and rest of the world?
ISKCON is the vehicle which was created by the Acharyas and Srila Prabhupada to help people to very easily understand very complex philosophy and practices of Bhakti Yoga. And I think it's already doing that, both in India and in the Western world.
And what do you think that India can learn from the West about spirituality?
Well, Prabhupada was saying that Western world is very practical, and India is very spiritual. But unfortunately, West is very practical, very capable, but they have no spiritual understanding. So it's like very healthy man, but completely blind. And India is very spiritual, but not very practical. And that's why they have the sight, but they are lame. So and Prabhupada said, if blind man will take the lame man on the shoulder, the lame man will be showing the way, blind man will be following.
Yes, very good example.
Yeah, that's how he envisioned that East and West cooperation like that.
And again, like in India, the platforms like YouTube, Instagram, and podcasts are shaping opinions. And how do you see that ISKCON can use these tools to spread Krishna consciousness?
If we have more presence on these platforms, it will naturally help people to shape their opinion in the right way.
So we should get more spiritual masters and gurus and
Yeah.
sannyasis on
Oh,
the
yeah.
podcasts.
Yeah.
I want to talk about Bollywood as well, which is like a heartbeat of India, and it drive and influence most of the population. And do you think that we can influence some celebrities to
Oh, yeah.
reshape Krishna consciousness into Bollywood as well?
Yeah.
And how can they play like a role?
Yeah, my friend Patri, Prabhu, he is in charge of preaching in Nepal, and he comes from Ukraine. He's half Russian, half Ukrainian, and extremely charismatic and gifted devotee. And last time he came to Mumbai, we were here together, and he connected with some of the Hollywood celebrities. He actually brought most of the characters from Mahabharata together, including Krishna, that Surab Jain, and few others. And he had kirtan with them. And, yeah, especially Surab. He was very good because he said his grandmother was a devotee and she was chanting japa. So he encouraged him, like, why don't you take up, chanting japa and reading Bhagavad Gita. So he promised him few minutes a day, like 10, 15 minutes a day of Bhagavad Gita and one round of japa a day. So yeah, it's gradually happening. But it's very good idea because whatever leaders are doing, then common men, of course, follow them.
Yeah, I think like definitely we should get more involved with Bollywood.
Yes.
Try to influence them and
Yes,
get them on the board as well.
yes.
Same with the cricket. How do you see that cricket can help with spirituality?
I mean, if cricket champions will become devotees, then their fans would automatically take it up. Sure.
I think all our cricketers should go on a pitch, Tulsi Malas,
Mm.
inspire.
Yeah. Very good idea.
So next thing is about festivals like Diwali, Janmashtami, and we're just talking about festivals in India, and they are not the festival we used to be like 30, 40 years ago. It's all commercialized now. And how we can change the essence of festival, because Diwali people play gamble, they drink, they party. It never used to be like that. It used to be Lakshmi Puja, Ganesha Puja, Saraswati Ma Puja. It's about celebrating, bringing, coming Ram and Sita home. And same with Janmashtami as well. People see this as a moment to celebrate, to drink and party. So the whole essence have changed in India.
Yes, it's unfortunate that the degradation is much faster than our spread of spiritual knowledge. I think, political leaders could, because luckily, political leaders quite advanced spiritually, and I think they could play the role in that. It would actually be helpful if there is some legislation against degradation. Unfortunately, it's pretty hard thing to do because people are so attached to sanctification. It's like one devotee from Chapati, I was involved in one project a few years back. Narendra Modi just came in power a little bit before that. And one of his promises was to protect the cows in India. And he was encouraging to increasing the standards of cow protection all over the country. In some places like Rajasthan, they decided to create cow ministry. and have cow minister Gopal, which is the government position, and in other states they were doing different things. But then in Maharashtra, they decided to criminalize beef consumption. Before, it was criminal, because he encouraged all the chief ministers, you raise the standards of cow protection. In Maharashtra, it was criminal to slaughter cows before. But this law was very easily, how to say, that people would go around this law. Yeah, because they would take the cows to the next state where the slaughter was okay, was allowed, slaughter cows there and bring the meat back and sell it in Maharashtra. But then they decided to criminalize beef eating. So anyone consuming beef could go to jail in Maharashtra. And there was a discussion before implementing this law amongst the public. And it was very interesting that one Muslim business committee said it's very good if we criminalize beef eating because the less we kill cows, the better our economy will be. Muslims. But then the Hindus, because this devotee, his wife was at the university back then, and they discussed that in their university group, which was majority Hindu students. And she was the only one who said it's a good thing. Everybody else was saying why the government has to interfere with people's dietary choice. Yeah. And these are Hindus, and they don't understand the value of cow and protecting the cow. So this is the problem, and it's a very big issue, but and it's like people are not educated, not trained in proper values. At the same time, they are influenced by bad propaganda. So Kali is very powerful, and so it would take a lot of effort to change it around. I don't know what will happen, what should happen to change it, but somehow I believe that if we make an effort, it's like Prabhupada gives an example. The little bird lost its eggs in the ocean and was asking the ocean to give her eggs back, but ocean ignored her. And she said, then I will drink you up to recover my eggs. And everyone was laughing at this little bird, was thinking this is stupid determination. But the Garuda took compassion on the bird, and he came and he said to the ocean, unless you bring her eggs back, I will drink you up. And ocean got scared, and he brought the eggs back. So something like that would have to happen, that if we just try to change the tide, then, some powerful people should join the effort. Otherwise, it won't be possible to do it on our own.
And there's been few incidents in India as well where sadhus have been beaten up by different communities. And I personally believe that the sadhus and saints should be given a special status, a special citizen status, like other people or communities have. And they are the soul of India. And do you have any opinions on that? What do you think that Modi or political leaders should do in giving special statuses to sadhus so they feel safeguarded and secure?
I think he's doing something in this regard. Definitely, it's a very important thing to do. I read his political program, and he's very honest. He follows that because he wanted to give more power to sadhus and Vaishnavas and temples, and he is doing that.
And do you know the situation happening in Bangladesh at the moment? A lot of ISKKON temples have been destroyed. A lot of our devotees, including priests, have been beaten up or killed very, very badly.
Yeah.
And their incidents, they've been hanged in the middle of the street to show an example. So people are converting at a very fast rate in ISKCONs in Bangladesh. So just want to get your thoughts into it because it's very saddening to hear all these stories.
Well, we don't know all the details, but anyway, it's happening for some unknown reason. I mean, there are known reasons, but then there are unknown reasons. And I believe that ultimately it will be for everyone's benefit somehow. Because sometimes people, before they get better, they have to get worse. Like that.
It's a lot of asuras.
Yeah, yeah.
And the last question is, Maharaji, before you go back to UK or Russia, what is the things you want to do in India?
Do something useful for local communities, whatever I can. Help them in their work, because they are doing a lot of important things in here.
Is there any places left in India you want to visit?
I was thinking lately that Dwarka was the place I haven't been to yet, and Srirangam as well, so there are a number of really important places I should be visiting sometime.
When are you planning to visit India next?
In February.
February.
Yeah.
You know, we have in my local village, Jalandhar, we have a ISKCON Jalandhar.
Oh.
Would you like to visit there as well? It's
Would be
Punjab.
nice. Would be nice.
You been to Punjab before?
I know. I don't think so.
It's a bit rough than other places in India.
Yeah.
Bit harsh, but yeah, I went there in ISKCON Jalandhar, and they would love to have you there as well.
Thank you.
I'll speak to them. Thank you, Maharaj, for coming.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.